lovers of chaos. That's the focus of tonight's angle. All right, let's face it, only rank partisans, people who hate Trump more than they love safety for their own people, would complain when Donald Trump offers help to get crime and chaos under control. Now, we saw that with not having Gavin Newsom in June, taking the side of violent and disruptive anti-ICE nuts in L.A. And not to be outdone in Trump hating, we heard the same bloviating today from the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. When he heard Trump plans to order 100 National Guard troops to Chicago on top of ICE's Operation Midway Blitz, Pritzker was so mad he reportedly skipped his second dessert. Handy rule of thumb. If anyone is impeding law enforcement, Pritzker's on their side.
In Broadview, people nonviolently holding signs and chanting against brutality, expressing their First Amendment rights, have been regularly attacked with chemical agents like tear gas, pepper spray, rubber bullets, and flashbangs. Without provocation and acting like jackbooted thugs, ICE has attacked and detained members of the press, including an independent journalist.
What a disgusting individual. Jackbooted thugs. He is effectively putting a target on all of their backs. And it wasn't without provocation, sir. When ICE vehicles are blockaded by pedestrians, it's dangerous for everyone. And yes, that happened in Broadview. And it's a crime, by the way. 18 U.S.C. Section 111 applies to anyone who forcibly assaults, resists, opposes, impedes, intimidates, or interferes with any federal officer, which includes ICE agents, while they're engaged in the performance of their official duties. And by the way, penalties can and should range from 1 year in jail to 8 years in jail. Now, that's what was happening at the supposedly all-peaceful protest in Broadview. And what about these chants?
Shoot ICE! No. Shoot ICE! Shoot the
By the way, 2 guns were found among those so-called protesters outside the ICE facility. So why would they need something like that if it was all peaceful? Now, Pritzker's feeding false narratives, and once again, he's fanning the flames with immigration sob stories.
On a beautiful weekend, when families were out enjoying their day in Chicago, armed Border Patrol agents were downtown marching up and down Michigan Avenue, harassing and intimidating residents and tourists, dressed in camouflage and masks.
Has he ever spoken with such urgency and compassion about the victims of illegal alien crime in his state? Or how about the dozens upon dozens upon dozens over the summer and just a span of 4 weeks who were shot or killed? Look, Trump's been exceedingly transparent about his urban agenda, and he actually has an urban agenda. Not only does he want to bring a lot of jobs back to urban areas by reindustrializing the United States, he wants to make American cities great again by first making them safe again. He wants the gangbangers locked up, the illegals shipped out, and the drug and human traffickers shut down. But progressive prosecutors, state legislators, city councils, they've created a revolving door of justice, and it's terrorizing our communities. Look at what Trump's done to help our nation's capital. Look, I went out twice in D.C. this past weekend. It was awesome. The streets felt like we were back in the 90s and early 2000s. It was night and day from back in early June. Safer, cleaner, calmer. It was more fun. It's amazing. Just common sense, though, right? But failed politicians like Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson in Chicago, they don't care about law-abiding citizens. They care about shielding illegals and catering to criminals.
This is an untrustworthy, corrupt, and out-of-control administration that is doing everything in their power to foment chaos in our cities. Whether it's in Portland, Los Angeles, or Chicago, we cannot accept the militarization of our cities.
Blah, blah, blah. They can blab on all they want. Militarization, this, that, jackbooted. Trump isn't fazed at all. He's too busy actually getting the job done. He's betting in the end that residents will appreciate safer streets and realize they don't have to live in fear any longer. It's absurd. Now, next up is Memphis, the most dangerous city in the United States. Federal officials from the FBI, DEA, the U.S. Marshal's Office, and ATF, they're already heading there this week, with word that the National Guard will be arriving soon thereafter. This is a multi-agency task force that will be working together, and at least the Republican Governor Bill Lee seems to be on board. And now, Portland, Oregon. This is getting interesting. It's getting a dose of Trump-style safety, too. Now, citing Title 10 of the U.S. Code, President Trump directed Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to deploy 200 Oregon National Guards troops to be deployed to Portland to protect ICE facilities there and the operations that are ongoing. So all the buildings, the areas around it, have been under siege regularly in Oregon. And it continued this past weekend. Like clockwork, the state of Oregon filed a lawsuit to block the Trump administration. So like Newsom, Pritzker, Hochul in New York, officials there are rushing to court, siding with criminals and against public safety.
We can manage our own local public safety needs. There is no insurrection. There is no threat to national security. And there is no need for military troops in our major city.
If President Trump came to Portland today, what he would find is people riding their bikes, playing sports, enjoying the sunshine, buying groceries or produce from a farmer's market.
Oh, isn't it wonderful? And there is a lot that's wonderful about Portland and Seattle. They're great American cities. But embracing Antifa and encouraging professional agitators to interfere with lawful ICE operations, that's not beautiful. It's just stupid. It's dangerous and it's illegal. So except for the hard left and I think the paid agitator class, you see them everywhere, they all look the same. Most Americans with actual jobs, they want law and order. They want safe streets, they want safe, good schools, they want safe neighborhoods, and city by city, community by community, that is what Donald Trump is trying to deliver. And that's the angle.
Trump's flipping a coin, and he's telling Democrats, heads I win, tails you lose. The wager, the National Guard. If he sends in the Guard and Antifa puts up a fight, Trump says, see, I told you so. They're out of control. Or if the Guard goes in and they peacefully pacify the city, he says, see, crime's down. You're welcome. No negotiating. Left-wing terror is at record highs. They're shooting at Teslas, Trump, Charlie, and ICE. After sending in the Guard into L.A. and D.C., Trump's going for round 3, Portland. This weekend, he directed the Secretary of War to send 200 National Guardsmen to protect war-ravaged Portland, and he's authorizing them to use full force if necessary. Because federal facilities in Portland have been under siege since the start of the summer. Every weekend, Antifa's been on the war path. Antifa's tried everything. Arson, battering rams. They've barricaded the buildings, thrown smoke grenades, blinding officers with lasers, assault and battery. They've even slashed the building's fiber optics. You won't hear any of this in the mainstream media. So liberals think the Guard's coming in out of the blue. But enough is enough. The governor, Tina Kotek, hasn't done a thing about it. This has been going on for months. Tina, who has armed security around the clock, says she can take her wife out on a date and it's no problemo.
Portland is not war-ravaged. There's no insurrection. There's no threat to national security, and there's no need for military troops. I thought I would take to the streets myself right here in downtown Portland. I'm standing just blocks away from the waterfront, overlooking the beautiful Willamette River. Portland City Hall, the federal courthouse, and dozens of shops and restaurants here in the central city.
I can show you one beautiful beach in Haiti and say, see, Haiti's totally safe. In the last 4 years, homicides have doubled. Aggravated assaults up. Arson up. Tina does not have Portland under control. Look at this scene. Does this look like a safe place to grab a bite to eat? Or did you just lose your appetite? Another Democrat says, maybe not dinner. Why don't you take your girlfriend for a stroll in our parks? If that's the best-looking park Portland has, forget the guard. Trump needs to send in the landscapers. Not a great place for a picnic. You might get pricked by a syringe.
Like, bro, everybody's targeting me on the side that's weak. Stop being a loser over being Greek. You literally have to harvest God in order to censor me.
This is kind of like how CNN covered the crime wave, remember?
We went out and had a great dinner in New York City tonight. People actually walked up to us and said, thank you I watch you every night. I can't believe they thought they did do a double take at us actually hanging out and not seeing us on the TV screen. But New York City was not, a hellscape, was it?
I mean, that one guy who ran by with the machete who tried to guess. No, of course it isn't.
No dinners, no picnic in the park. You might have to eat in, but the Taco Bell delivery guy is going to be late because he made a pit stop to flip off ice.
Bell, bell, bell.
ICE just got shot at in Dallas, and now Taco Bellers are going bang, bang, bang in Portland. You'd think the city would be protecting federal law enforcement. They're not. The council forged an alliance with Antifa to conduct espionage.
It would be really helpful if people who are on the ground, who are able to see some of that technology that ICE is using, if you could photograph it and send it to our offices, that's all information that we can use to try to figure out where we need to target.
The Portland City Council is sharing intelligence with Antifa, which was just designated a domestic terror organization. This is how agents get doxxed and shot. The assassin in Dallas was using ICE tracking apps before the hit. Portland's working against the will of the people. They saw Trump go out to dinner in D.C. and Stephen Miller frolic through the park with Katie, and they want the same thing. They want help.
I am so happy that Trump is sending the National Guard in here. We've been asking for help for months, and we're finally going to get it.
There's plenty of guard to go around. Trump sent 100 National Guardsmen into Chicago. Some of them are patrolling the river where Ribs has been doing his morning workouts. Now suddenly, JB Back doesn't feel safe.
Our small businesses suffer when our residents and visitors who are shopping and eating are made to feel unsafe by the jackbooted thugs roaming around a peaceful downtown.
Chicago's Magnificent Mile has a vacancy rate of 30% because of the smash and grab epidemic. A few guardsmen, they're going to make the shoppers feel safer so they can spend more moolah. The ICE facilities in Chicago aren't so magnificent either. Not only are they dealing with violence, they're also facing black magic.
But first tonight, it is shutdown, showdown. We are 27 hours away from another government shutdown, and there is just one party that is political to blame, and that would be the Democrats, led by Senate Minority Leader in name only. That would be Democrat Chucky Schumer, and the House Minority Leader in name only, Hakeem Jeffries. Two guys from Brooklyn, New York, have been, in the past, big opponents of government shutdowns over the years. Here's a reminder of how much it has mattered to them in the first place and in the past. Take a look.
It is not normal to shut down the government when we don't get what we want.
If the government shuts down, it will be average Americans who suffer most. A government shutdown means seniors who rely on Social Security could be thrown into chaos.
Families will be hurt. Farmers will be hurt.
It's the service members who will work without a paycheck. It's the firefighters who will be furloughed.
This shutdown, you know who's going to feel the pain? You know who it hurts? You. Everyday people and the most vulnerable. Seniors, veterans, working families, hungry kids, y'all.
Democrats are signaling they're ready for a fight. This time, Schumer tells the Associated Press, quote, things have changed.
It is not normal to shut down the government when we don't get what we want.
Democrats have a favorite method of keeping the government open, something known as a clean CR, continuing resolution. It just keeps the government funding at current levels. No strings attached. Keep funding the government. Nobody gets laid off. Essential and non-essential services continue. Schumer loves clean CRs so much, he once demanded one from President Trump back during Donald Trump's first term. He even just ushered one through the Senate earlier in the year to avoid a government shutdown. Guess what? Schumer's radical leftist base, they turned on him like no tomorrow. They did not like the fact that he did the very thing that he has championed for his entire career, keeping the government open at all costs. But now the party that he leads, in name only, he has zero power. Chuck knows he would face a primary challenge from AOC at any moment. He must obey his radical base. And the same goes for Hakeem Jeffries, another leader in name only. So here we are. A government shutdown is looming. The House passes a clean CR, Schumer's favorite thing, Hakeem Jeffries' favorite thing. And guess what? They're suddenly opposed. Chucky's saying everything has changed. Now, House Speaker Mike Johnson called him out today, and Vice President Vance said, well, we appear to be headed for a real shutdown. Take a look.
The original thing they did with this negotiation, it was a $1.5 trillion spending package, basically saying to the American people, we want to give massive amounts of money, hundreds of billions of dollars to illegal aliens for their health care, while Americans are struggling to pay their health care bills. That was their initial foray into this negotiation. We thought it was absurd. We told them it was absurd, and now they come in here saying that if you don't give us everything that we want, we're going to shut down the government.
During the Biden administration, there were 13 threatened shutdowns. The Republicans in the minority did the right thing. We kept the government open. We're simply asking for the Democrats to do the same.
All right, Chucky Schumer saying he's done with no strings. Suddenly, he's very into strings, a lot of them, and it's very expensive. But since he knows that he must bow at the altar of the radicals that really run his party in order to keep his job, now he wants $1.5 trillion tied to a mere 4-week CR. Now, Schumer and his Democratic friends, they want free health care for illegals as part of that deal, which is interesting because Democrats used to be totally against free health care and benefits for illegals. Let's take another trip down memory lane. I promise you're not going to see this in the legacy media mob, fake news, CNN, or MSDNC. Take a look.
This is an anti-fraud amendment. All over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
And then finally, as to illegal aliens, we agree with you that we do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.
Oh, Schumer and Hillary Rodham Clinton. No health care for illegals. Now, the Schumer and the Democrats want PBS, NPR. They want to get all of their funding back. They, for some reason, want to cancel out all of the money given to rural hospitals in the one big, beautiful bill. And, yeah, they want all of us to keep funding woke programs all over the world. Let's bring back that spending. And then the Democrats want something else as well. And this is important. They want an extension of Joe Biden's Obamacare subsidies. They were designed to be a temporary measure during COVID, a health emergency. What does that mean? Well, thanks to the brilliance of Obamacare, anyone in America doesn't have health insurance, legal or illegal, basically has two options: get on government-funded Medicaid or buy a plan on the Obamacare exchange. Unfortunately, most of those Obamacare exchange plans are basically useless. They cost a ton of money and they cover almost nothing. And remember, until Donald Trump came along, there was a major tax penalty for any American that didn't have Obamacare. People were being forced by the government to buy a lousy product. As part of Joe Biden's America Rescue Plan, well, that's the $2 trillion that he dropped into the economy at the start of his term to, quote, spike inflation. While the government heavily subsidized the cost of those Obamacare exchange plans and Medicaid, and instead of improving the products, as a result, Democrats decided the government would pay for it now, and those subsidies are expiring. And guess what? Republicans are not going to fund it. Democrats want, oh, let's pay all this health care in perpetuity, basically universal health care. And by the way, that would be trillions of dollars in exchange for keeping the government open for what, a mere 4 weeks? It's never going to happen. And I'm going to be probably the only consistent one. I don't care if the government shuts down. Our military will still be defending us. We'll still have Border Patrol working. We'll have law enforcement working. We will also have Social Security and Medicaid provided to the elderly in this country. Those in need will get their checks, et cetera. Doesn't scare me. Never has, never will. But Schumer, the Democrats, they better be careful here. Shutting down the government means the White House and the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, they got a lot of control over what will stay open and what will be closed. Essential services, our military, again, they will continue. But for all those deep state bureaucrats in D.C., many of which probably need to move to the public sector, you might actually be looking at the greatest, well, economic Washington bureaucracy jujitsu in history, and that would be Doge 2.0. So good luck, Chuck. Good luck, Hakeem. Be careful what you wish for.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.